everybody. We're going to do a book on the American flag so we can get some more information about that symbol of freedom for our country. And it's a mix of facts along with a story woven in about these children in their school. So let's see what they have to say about the flag. I learned something new when I read this book earlier. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Charles raises his hand. Wait, Mr. Gomez, he says, what does that mean? And why do we put our hands on our hearts? Asked Khalil. Great question, said Mr. Gomez. Let's talk about our flag. And the United States of America has a flag that is one of the oldest in the world. Of all the countries on our planet, our flag is one of the oldest. There are only 6 countries that have flags that are older than ours, and they include Great Britain, Denmark, Austria, the Netherlands, and Switzerland. So our flag is one of the oldest and also one of the most recognizable. Like around the world, most people know what our flag is. If you showed them this flag, they would say, that's the USA. Because our country is really awesome. Mr. Gomez says the flag is a symbol for our country. And we've already learned that a symbol is a marker, a picture that stands for something else. Or maybe even a color like we talked about. The United States of America became a country in 1776. So that's when the United States was born, we say, in 1776. People worked together to make a new government, and they wanted a symbol to show who they were. What's a symbol? Asked Ethan. And we just talked about that, right? It's a symbol or a mark to stand for something. And then this little girl has a good idea, like a green light means go. So green stands for go. It's a symbol for go. Great Britain once ruled part of what is now the United States. Americans fought a war to be a separate country. They no longer, when people came to America, they no longer wanted to be part of Great Britain. They didn't want to be ruled by a king. They had their own beliefs and they wanted to have their own land and be in charge of themselves and rule themselves. So there was a war, the Revolutionary War, and it lasted from 1775 to 1783, which is a very long time. It lasted 8 years. And after 8 years, we became free. And the 13 British colonies, so they were owned by Great Britain, became the first 13 states in our country, of which is now known the United States. Now look at this map, guys. Here's a map of the United States, and over here is the compass, right? So it tells us direction. So this way would be north, south, west, and east. Sorry, because it's backwards for me, right? So if you look here, this is the eastern part of our country here, and hopefully you can find our state, New York State, on this map by now. We looked at a lot of maps. If you're thinking right up here, you are correct. That is New York State. It's where we live. So we were one of the first states when the United States was born and became our own country. We learned that in 1777, American leaders decided how the flag should look. And they wanted to use red, white, and blue, which I'm so glad because I think that just our flag looks amazing. The red stands for courage and strength. White stands for being pure and good. And blue stands for fairness or justice. The leaders also wanted to use star shapes on part of the flag. And our country was like a new group of stars shining in the night, kind of like a constellation. The Flag Act described the official flag. Leaders signed the Flag Act on June 14th, 1777. And this is the day that we honor the flag. There's actually a holiday on June 14th, which is coming up in just a few days, and it's called Flag Day. So you'll see a lot more flags hanging outside people's homes on that day. Why are there only 13 stars? Asked Miles. Because at first, the country only had 13 states. Makes sense, right? Because there was one to represent each state. At first, the flag wasn't always made the same way. One early design put the stars in a circle, right? and others put the 13 stars in rows. So here's how the flag has changed over time. And up here it says, this is our present day flag. This is what our flag looks like today. You can see it's very similar to the last flag. However, one thing's different, and that is the number of stars on our flag. Our classroom flag has about 1 million stars on it, said Hannah. Well, not quite that many, our teacher says. Each time a new state joined our country, we added a star. So today we have 50 states, so we have 50 stars on our flag. So if we were to adopt a new state by some chance, we would add another star to our flag. But that hasn't happened in a really long time, and I don't think it will anytime soon, but you never know. Mr. Gomez asks us what else we see when we look at the flag. We see red and white stripes, of course, and then we count them. 13, says Emmy, 7 red stripes and 6 white. 7 red, 6 white. Yes, our flag has 13 stripes. Does anybody know what those 13 stripes might stand for? Can you guys take a guess? What was significant about the number 13? It stands for the first 13 states. So 13 stripes, 13 original states, and then 50 stars, and that counts all of our states currently. Nicknames for the U.S. flag include the Stars and Stripes, the Star-Spangled Banner, and Old Glory. So just like the Statue of Liberty has a nickname, Lady Liberty, the flag has nicknames too. So what do the rest of those words in the pledge mean? Let's look at the pledge a little more carefully. I pledge allegiance. Allegiance means friendship or loyalty. Saying those words is like promising to be a good friend to our flag and respect it and respect our country. To show respect to the flag, we follow certain rules. We stand during the pledge and we look at the flag and we put our hands over our hearts. And this means we're making a promise to respect each other and to respect the flag. Buildings also have rules if they fly flags. So you might see a flag outside a restaurant, a grocery store, definitely a post office or any kind of government building would have a flag. And their rules include making sure the flag should be put up quickly at sunrise and lowered at sunset. And if the flag is left up at night, a light should shine on it. So those are the rules that are set for places that have flags outside on flagpoles. And sometimes you'll see a flag, guys, and a lot of flags right now are raised to half staff. They don't pull the flag all the way to the top of the pole, and that usually means something significant is happening in our country. Typically that someone has died or been killed, or there's just a lot of unrest and unhappiness for reasons, and they'll lower the flag at half mast to show respect and to show that the country's in mourning, which means you're feeling sad over the loss of someone. And to the republic for which it stands. Well, republic is a type of government, and that's the type of government we have, where we are allowed to vote for our leaders, right? I mentioned before in another clip that Danny just turned 18 last October, and so now he's old enough to vote. So there's elections coming up this year, and he will be able to vote because he registered to do that, which is really cool. It's exciting for him. When you guys turn 18 and when you get older, I hope you take the opportunity to vote too. Let's look closely at the next part of the pledge, says Mr. Gomez. One nation under God, indivisible, indivisible. Now that word, indivisible, you kind of hear the word divide in there. And we know divide means, just like in division, like Mrs. Ferrer taught you, divide means to take apart, to break up into smaller pieces. But when we're talking about our country and our flag, we say we are indivisible, meaning we can't be broken up. We don't want to be broken up because we are together, we are stronger and better. So we are indivisible, one nation, indivisible. And that's something that can't be broken up. He reminds us that we can do more when we work as a team. We've talked about this all year long, guys. We do so much better work when we work as a team, when we respect each other, when we listen to each other's opinions and we respect them, but we find a way as a group to come together and move forward. Like when we all clean up, and that's a perfect example because in our classroom we talked about this too. If only 1 or 2 kids was cleaning up, it took a really long time and it really wasn't fair. But if everyone joined in, we got the job done quickly, and then everyone pitched in because everyone made the mess. Our country needs all 50 states. Even if we disagree, we stick together. The states are stronger together than apart. So they have all of the states listed here, guys. And if you look at a map, you'll be able to learn all about the 50 states. And someday you'll probably memorize all 50. Mr. Gomez asked Jordan to read the last line, with liberty and justice for all. Well, what does liberty mean? Means being free. And justice means fairness. The American flag even flies on the moon. So when we made a first trip to the moon, our astronauts actually posted a flag on the moon, and it's still there today apparently. So pretty cool. So that's just a little bit more information on our American flag, our symbol that stands for freedom. I hope you guys learned some neat things. You'll definitely continue to learn about the flag and what it stands for and the reasons for the flag and the stars and stripes. But yeah, so that's some good information to kind of take with you for now. And you can always do a little bit more research on your own. There's so many books about the flag, who made the flags, where they were flown first, all sorts of good things like that. All right, so I'm going to put this one down, and I'll probably start another one in just a few minutes.